having a great week. It's Friday. Hopefully, you've got some time to wind down, relax a little bit. I know not everyone does. My husband has to work all weekend, which sucks. And my oldest daughter is working tomorrow. She's doing a girl boss market and she gets to do face painting. But anyway, that's not what I came on here to talk about. I honestly don't really know what I came on here to talk about. I didn't really come up with a plan tonight. I was just like, I need to go live. I haven't been going live, and I like kind of made this commitment to myself that I wanted to start going live more on YouTube because it was working more. So yeah, here I am. Um, what's up? Anyway, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Sammie. I am the founder of Mystic Shadows. I help people who are self aware, they've done the therapy, they've read the books, they've listened to the podcast, they've done the work, but they still react. They still show up in ways that they don't want to in the moments that matter most. And I know how much it sucks to live like that. I really hated myself for a long time. I was in a really dark place for a long time. I was really reactive. My whole identity was built around everything I learned to survive, and it sucked. I didn't believe having the things I wanted in life was possible. The first manifestation exercise I did, I laughed because I was like, I'm never gonna have my dream day. That's not possible for me. I'm never gonna have that money. So, yeah, um, I did not believe that all the things that I have done, that I have changed, was possible at all. I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought I was broken. I I had lived under these survival spells. That's what I call them. And nothing weird or witchy or like somebody cursed you or anything crazy like that. A survival spell is just a belief or an experience or something that has happened often enough that you believe it as fact, as truth. And yeah, I there were so many stories, so many identities and things that I took as fact that I believed that were 100% true. Hey, how are you doing? And I didn't ever question them. I just believed that that's who I was, that that was my identity, and that I was broken and I couldn't change it. And eventually I learned something really different. Thank you. I learned that those were actually just identities that I learned. It wasn't who I was. I wasn't a people pleaser. I wasn't overreactive. I wasn't a self sabotager. I wasn't a failure. These are just all things that I learned and I used for so long that they became a part of who I thought it was. And that was one reason that even though I had done the therapy, and thank you, I appreciate all the compliments, guys. Thanks. But I'd rather you actually listen to what I'm saying than like look at me, honestly, because I love the way I look and I'm a total badass in my opinion, but I get on here because the things I talk about are really important and they've completely changed my life. And that's what I care about. Like I totally appreciate people liking all this, but yeah. Oh, thank you. I love this too. It's my favorite. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, that's why for a long time I knew the things. I'd gone to therapy, I read the books, I listened to the podcast, I did the work. I was aware, painfully fucking aware of everything. I knew my triggers. I understood why I did them. I understood what went on that caused me to be that way. All the things. I got it. I knew how to make it better too. I knew the mindset stuff Yes, it really does. It feels so good to be ourselves and finally be able to take the mask off and get past all this survival. We've been conditioned so much to be what everyone else wants us to be and to do the things that we need to do to survive. Like, if you're a people pleaser, you do that because you learn that's what was safe. And, like, that there's no way around that, but that doesn't make that who you are. And so many people just accept it as face value, as fact of like, okay, well, this is just who I am now, and I guess there's something wrong with me. And yeah, well, then maybe you came across my channel for a reason because I talk about this kind of stuff a lot. This is my thing. Not saying like therapy isn't helping you, but because I definitely got some value out of therapy at one point. But eventually, I was like, I was doing all the therapy. I'd been in therapy for since I was 18, on and off. And I was like 30 when I really started my healing journey. I was like, I still can't change. I still can't do better. I was so reactive. Um, like my big thing was anger. I had a lot of issues with anger. I had 3 daughters and an amazing husband, and I was ruining everything. Um, and I really hated myself because that wasn't who I was. I was always this really positive person that no matter what, just had a heart for other people. And no, I'm not. I am a woman. I have 3 daughters. But yeah, I just like having interesting hair. That's it. But yeah, anyway, my ADHD brain. Hold on. Let me get that thought back. I don't know. I'll just keep going. Anyway, yeah, I was destroying everything. And I really didn't like that because that wasn't me. That wasn't who I genuinely was. Um, I I always wanted to help people. Like from the time I was 17, I told myself that I wanted to use what I had experienced to be good for someone else, that I didn't want it to be for nothing. I was molested when I was a teenager by my stepdad. My mom didn't believe me. When I went and reported it to the police, I went to jail. Very, yeah, just a lot to go through at that age. So I got through that and was like, no, I want to use this for good. I want to help somebody one day. And I kept that for like a really long time, but eventually like shit just kept piling on. Like life just kept coming for me for a really long time. And don't get me wrong, I put myself in a lot of the fucking situations that I ended up in. I escorted, I did drugs. Those were choices I made and put myself in. I wound up in jail because of it. That's totally on me, no one else. You know, yeah, the trauma made my capacity where it was to where that's really probably the best choices I could have made at that time realistically, but it was still on me. I put myself there. But yeah, anyway, it just kept coming and eventually I got really fucking angry. I missed out on 7 months of my kid's life while I was in jail because and at this time I was completely clean, had been clean for a crazy long time. I got clean after I got pregnant with my first daughter. Um, but my in-laws, me and my husband were having problems. My in-laws called and told them that I left the state and I was on call-in reporting where all I had to do was like send in money and call every month and I was fine. So they called, I get a warrant out for my arrest, and like 3 years later they actually find me and take me to jail. So like everything was really, really great. So this pissed me off so bad because me and my husband were doing so amazing. Like we finally were financially good and everything, and then I go to jail for 7 months. My youngest daughter wasn't even one. Um, my husband got strung back out on drugs because he moved in with his family, and I didn't talk to him basically the whole time I was in jail. I didn't get to talk to him, didn't get to talk to my kids. He abandoned all of our shit. It was a lot. I'm way past all that now, thank goodness. Like I'm still with him. we've grown together. Um, he's incredible. He's grown into such an amazing man, even though he was definitely not what I needed at all back then. We've been able to grow together, which has been really fucking beautiful. But the thing was, we knew we wanted to be better. That didn't change. Like, we were about to lose our kids, and I walked in on him smoking meth, and I'm just like, what the fuck? How can we not be important enough to you for you to put that down? And yeah, even though I did drugs, I don't completely comprehend addiction. I understand it now. And, I get that even though he wanted to change, he didn't want to be doing that. We're still together 16 years later. He obviously loves me and our kids. Like, he did not want to be that person, but he didn't have the capacity to make a different choice. And for a long time after that, he didn't. Even though he got better, he got clean, he still couldn't be the person he wanted to be, just like I couldn't be the person I wanted to be. Because those survival identities were still running so deep. We didn't feel safe to be a different person yet. We didn't feel safe to make another choice yet. And that's what it really comes down to, is safety and realizing, okay? That is the first key. I bitch about awareness because I get tired of everybody acting like awareness is the answer, because I scroll social media and I'm like, oh, you're talking about awareness again. And then they leave it at that. And I'm like, that doesn't fucking help. That just leaves you feeling like there's something wrong with you, because now you're aware and you're still doing it. But you got to be aware to get started, right? So we got to know the thing. You've got to know that, okay, I'm repeating this identity, or I have this belief. Like, I used to have this belief that it was hard to make money, or that having a business was hard, or all these things. And I changed my belief around that, and my reality shifted around that. But it goes the same thing for our personality. If you attach I am to things, and you're constantly telling yourself that, you're constantly taking actions and having experiences to reinforce that, things don't always change. So what we have to do is actually start realizing that we're saying that. Stop using that language is a big part of it for me, in my opinion. But the biggest part is safety. We have to actually start building safety to show up as someone different. If you've been the people pleaser for 20 years, do you really think changing overnight is an option? And here, I want to say this really quick, because I was just talking about awareness and how awareness is not the answer. It's really important, it's a big piece, but it's not the answer. Like, think about it this way. If you're, for me, I would be having my reaction. Like I said, my thing was anger. I'd get really angry. I'd overreact. And the whole time in my head, I'm thinking, just stop. Would you please just stop? You're welcome. I really love being able to help with this stuff. And I actually, since you said you've been dealing with some of this stuff and going through therapy with some of this stuff, I just hosted a summit that all the replays are on my channel on here. And it's like really around this stuff, and like really more structured and not me so scatterbrained. So if you want to check that out, that might be helpful for you too. But yeah, the whole time I'd be in my head and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Would you just stop? Calm down. Like, the whole time I know what I was doing. Awesome. Thank you for subscribing. But I still couldn't stop it. The reaction had already started. It didn't matter that I was in my head being like, just stop, just calm down. It did not matter. It still kept going. Sometimes for a while. My fights would last hours sometimes. Wasted so much time being angry, guys. And don't get me wrong, anger's not bad. I don't consider any emotion negative, actually. Emotions are just signals. They suck sometimes. Yeah, don't get me wrong. They definitely suck to feel sometimes. But at the same time, they're also just signals. They're there to tell you something isn't right. And anger isn't bad. We just weren't taught how to use it. From the time we're children, we're taught, no, don't do that. Don't react. And that's the thing. We don't need to react. We need to learn how to respond. We need to learn how to use our anger. We need to understand, okay, my anger is telling me there's a need not being met right now. That there is something not right now. What is this telling me? Get curious about it. Figure out what is lying underneath that and then take action. What do you actually need to do right now? Because it is appropriate to set boundaries and to put your foot down with people or to express how you're feeling to people if someone does something to make you angry. It's not an unvalid feeling. We just need to learn to use it properly and not shove it down because that's another big problem. But yeah. See, that tells me the whole thing with saying I was thinking it in my head and all that. That tells me that awareness isn't the problem because I am aware. I know. I'm telling myself the whole time. So it's something else. And then yeah, it took a while for me to figure that out. And it's really frustrating. But when we actually start building safety and capacity, that's when it changes. How do you actually do that? Because I've said it a million times, right? Safety and capacity. And that's what you'll hear all the fucking time if you follow me. But it's not always easy to do. And I will admit, the first few times, like I would still react, I would still do the thing. But later I would be able to come back to it. The key is starting to notice the feelings in your body, starting to notice the moment before the reaction, the moment before you people please, or you blow up, or you shut down, or whatever. It's the moment before. You maybe your chest gets tight, or your stomach drops, or you start having racing thoughts. That's the moment we need to start noticing. Because, see, what a lot of people don't realize is in those moments, we're not just responding to what's happening right there. We're responding to that as well as whatever it is that we're dealing with from our past. And our body is telling us that it's unsafe to feel what we're feeling. Plus, like I was saying with the anger, we've been told to shove away emotions for so fucking long, right? So we don't want to feel them. And it's completely human to not want to feel pain. That's what we do. So we shove them down, or we run away from them, or we turn it into anger because anger feels better than sadness. I can control anger. I can do something about anger. Can't always do something about sadness. Can't always do something about being hurt. So, yeah. Anyway, telling ourselves that we're safe to feel what we're feeling, that's like the first step to me. I need to turn my phone to vibrate so these notifications stop going off. Okay, yeah. When you start noticing that feeling in your body, take a deep breath. Longer exhale than inhale. That is science. That automatically signals to your brain safety. It helps your nervous system calm down. And then tell yourself, if you can, out loud. If not, you can do it in your head. But tell yourself, I'm safe to feel what I'm feeling. I am safe in my body right now. And big thing here. This is not to make it all better. This isn't to make it go away. Because, like I just said, that's part of our problem. Shutting it down, running away from it. That's not what we need to be doing with it. We need to be getting curious about it. Making enough space to be able to feel it and choose our response. So, the goal when we're telling ourselves that we're safe and taking that breath or taking a step away from the situation isn't to make it go away. It's just to make it 5 to 10% better, 5 to 10% safer, just a little more okay, just a little bit of space for you to have a chance to think, for your brain to see that there is a different option than there was the last time. You just need to slow it down a little bit. And you might still react. It happens. I've been doing this work for years. I still react sometimes. I have teenage daughters. I still react. It happens. Life is life. Life gets hard sometimes. Shit happens. We get upset. There will still be moments. but you'll also be able to come back to yourself faster. The moments won't be as crazy. They won't be as chaotic. They won't last as long. But yeah, just that one simple thing that I talked about can make such a difference for you. And you can use it in anything. Another thing I like to teach people is using what I just talked about, the pausing and the breathing and telling yourself you're safe. Not everybody can do that with where they're at right now in that moment. Sometimes we're not at that place yet, and that is totally okay too, because you can go back. After you're calmed down, after everything is over with, take some space for yourself. Go somewhere where you can privately just be calm and bring that back to mind. Bring it back up and notice what you felt in your body. Take that breath. Tell yourself it's safe to feel it. And then I like to take it a step further when we do that because visualization is really powerful. Our brain doesn't know the difference between a vivid imagination, especially when we add emotion, and what actually happens in the real world. That's why dreams can feel so real. You have a nightmare, you wake up, your heart is racing, you're sweating. It can take you time to calm down. It's because our brains don't actually know the difference. So we can trick ourselves. After you do this, the calming yourself down, you feel 5 to 10% safer. Bring that moment up and envision yourself showing up in the way that you want to. Envision that empowered, sovereign version of you. Because this is showing your brain that there can be a different pattern, that another option exists, and it is a safe option. So, yeah. And if you ever want someone to walk through that process with you, I do free, blah, free 30-minute alchemy calls. So, my link tree should be in my link in bio. But if you can't find it, you can always comment on anything and I'll send you the link for that. But yeah, I also have a free group where I do weekly coaching, and sometimes I drop hypnosis tracks, and I do monthly energy healings because I do Reiki too, which I'm about to start trying to do a lot more on YouTube too. I realize I do not have enough of my shit on here at all. Like, y'all don't even realize half the shit I do. I come on here and I talk about this stuff, but I also do hypnosis and Reiki and have a very, very spiritual side to all of this stuff too. So I want to start getting a lot more on YouTube. So I hope that helped some of you because I love talking about this stuff. It is my passion. Because my life is so different now. I was on 10 different prescriptions and still a disaster. And now I take none. I don't even take birth control anymore. But that's a whole different, like, that's different. Most of my meds were mental health meds, some of them were pain meds. I do use plant medicine, but I think the mushrooms kind of helped me be able to transition. But I also use this under a medicine woman, and I have a protocol I follow. That's one thing I want to say. Anytime I mention plant medicine, I think it's really important to mention the safe ways to use plant medicine. When I'm talking about microdosing, like, you shouldn't even feel anything from what you're taking. Um, it's a very, very small amount, and it rewires the neural pathways in your brain. And that's why I like to use it. Now, don't get me wrong, a trip can do it too. But I also recommend doing that with a medicine person because if you're trying to make it a healing journey, you might need a little bit of guidance. Also, if you've experienced a lot of trauma in your life, shit can come up that can be hard to deal with by yourself in those times. So, yeah, that was like my little helper. But the thing about healing to me is it's never been about one thing. And that's why, like with my coaching, I'm a coach, but I also do NLP, I also do hypnosis, I also do energy healing because it's about healing the mind, body, and soul. There was never just one thing that I did that really changed my life. It was all of it together. Because, like, okay, mushrooms, they are so powerful. They can change your life overnight. But if you're not going to put in the work, then it's not going to do you any good. It still takes work afterwards. The mushrooms just help, like, with the neural pathways. But then I have NLP for that too. That's why NLP is neuro linguistic programming. And basically, like, one of my favorite things that I also kind of offer for free sometimes for the right people, it's called a belief change. And what we do is we take a belief like, I'm not good enough, or I'm unworthy, or no one loves me, whatever negative belief you have, and we get rid of it. We make it the same as the belief that I am a 7-year-old child. Which, the reason this is important is developmental, but also, you're not a 7-year-old child now, right? You were at one point, and you believed that to be true at one point in your life, but you know that you no longer are. And that's what we want that negative belief to be like. We want it to be something that you used to believe, but you no longer believe is true about you. And then we install a new, empowering, positive belief like, people love me so much. Okay, my thoughts just disappeared. Yeah, something more empowering. That was not a good enough one. I can usually think of really good ones, but like, I have control of my destiny. I can have anything I want in life. I deserve all the best in life. Whatever empowering belief is the opposite of the negative belief we just took away. And we make that belief the same as the belief the sun will rise tomorrow. Because you believe without a doubt the sun will rise tomorrow, probably. So, yeah. Anyway, I am I want to apologize for how random I am on live sometimes, especially when I do this, because I didn't plan what I was going to talk about. I was just like, let's get on and talk. Let's see what happens. Because I love these talks. They end up being so great because I'm just like, all right, I'm going to talk about whatever pops into my head. And usually I feel like spirit is kind of, I trust my higher self. She talks to me a lot. So I trust that it's her talking through me. But it ends up being a little random and you got to untangle some of it. So my neurodivergence, it's so much fun. But if you want a more concrete, like, explanation of the things I talked about today, I've got videos that talk about this. I definitely recommend checking out day 1 from the Unmasked Summit of my talk. It was really powerful and really life changing, I think. I'm really tired of seeing everyone walk around with masks on because it is exhausting and it sucks. Look how much fun I am. Do you think I was always this way? No. I would never have done my hair like this when I lived in Georgia. Not like, I mean, now if I had to move back there, I would, because I'm not changing my hair for anybody. But back when I lived there, it was before my healing started, and I was not okay with being me at all. Not even with my husband, not even with my family. And that sucks because you're amazing. We're all so fucking amazing. We're all so special. And the things you want, the desires you have, they're there for a reason. They're meant for you. You're meant to have them. We're meant to have it all. All we have to do is be the person that can carry those things, because so often we're still living in these survival identities that don't actually believe the things we want are possible. You want love, you want money, but you don't believe you're worthy. So what do you think your subconscious mind is going to do when those things come to you? It's going to fuck it all up because you don't actually feel safe enough to hold those things yet. And it sucks so much. Trust me. I know. I started building a business before I shifted my money mindset. It did not work. But when you start shifting that stuff, when you start seeing that so much of this is just conditioning, that so much of this is just stuff that you've been taught to believe about yourself, about the way the world works, everything changes. Literally, everything. And life's still hard. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I still get triggered. I still don't always show up as my sovereign, amazing self. There's still moments where I fall short. But those are just lessons. They're not failures. Life's still going to be hard sometimes. Things are still going to happen. And I feel like with the way that healing works is like there's always going to be a new level. Like we have problems no matter where we are in life, right? There's different challenges no matter what level of money you have, what gender, what color, none of that stuff. We all have our own challenges, right? I look at it as the same with healing. Once you've healed to this level, there's this level. Like there's more. There's layers to it. So life's always going to have challenges that it throws at us. But the thing is, I'm able to see those challenges now as a blessing. And I don't mean like, oh, everything is all good. It's okay. Like, it doesn't matter that something bad happened to me. I'm just going to be happy. I still feel it. I bawled my eyes out yesterday. I got some heavy ass shit going on in my life right now. I have cried 3 times this week, more than once a day, those 3 times. Um, so life still gets heavy and hard sometimes. But the thing is, those challenges are just a chance for you to show up as the person that can actually hold the things you desire, as the person embodying the identity that you want to be. It's not always easy, but I'm not here for easy. If I wanted easy, I would just go get a job again and work a regular job and raise my kids and live my life. I am here for great things. I'm here for more. I'm here for all of it. I want to experience everything. To experience the good, we gotta experience a little bad sometimes. I mean, and realistically, like, happiness, yeah, it's great. But if you were happy all the time, how great would it be? We gotta have some challenges in there for the joy, for the celebratory times to actually be as good as they are. And to be able to see life like that and accept it and just fucking move through life and like feel what you need to feel, fucking bawl your eyes out, whine about it if you need to, and then get the fuck up and move on and be yourself and badass self again, that is amazing. That feels so fucking good. Trust me. Because I used to be the one that would spiral for 2 fucking weeks over one little thing that didn't go my way. This week alone, a lot has not gone my way. A lot has gone my way too. I just got a new coach. I'm so excited. I got a coach again. Yay! A business coach. So yeah, get ready. Mystic Shadows is about to take off, y'all. Like, y'all gonna be seeing me everywhere, guys. And if you're ready to start shifting your life, got lots of ways to work with me. And right now, they're crazy cheap. They're going to be going up. So get in while you can. And I'm not saying that to be like, I hate the scarcity bullshit. Like, oh, there's only 5 spots left, guys. Get in while you can. I don't do that. I'm like legitimately being realistic. My self paced experience is $97 right now. Once I actually have it where I want it to be completely, it's probably going to be more like 500, and it might grow from there. I always want to keep my shit accessible because I lived in poverty for a really long time. So I there was a lot of healers that I came across that I was like, oh man, if I could just work with them, I know everything would change for me. Which is bullshit because the power is in you. Ultimately, you don't need anybody. You don't need me. You don't need anybody. You can do it yourself. But it is easier. We have compatibility, accountability, and a pathway to follow, and someone to have our back. It is helpful. It took me way longer to get through this shit than it will take you if you work with me because I figured it out and created a path and all the things. But yeah, I always will have some accessible ways to work with me. I'm working on building a school community right now that is going to be very, very low cost because I want people to heal. I'm not here to elevate myself. I want more. Don't get me wrong. I want a lot. I want a lot out of life. But I'm not here to, like, this business was not about me getting rich. This business is about, I know what it feels like to completely hate yourself and feel really hopeless and feel like you will never have a life that you love. And I'm tired of people living that way and feeling that way. And I'm going to do everything I can to change that, to be a light in the world, to help people change their life. But that's also why I'm trying to get crazy rich, because the more money, well, not crazy rich, just like good enough that all my needs are taken care of and I can have a business that does a lot for other people. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy rich as in I have a lot of money. I want my business to have a lot of money so I can give back a lot. And now I'm just rambling about shit. I'm sure nobody is even watching anymore because I just started talking about me and all my dreams and goals, and that's probably not what y'all are here for. But yeah, anyway, if you did sit with me through all of my rambling about just stuff I love to talk about, then thanks. Great to have you here. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here because I need to go live on my other platforms. So we will see what comes out on those platforms. I am not doing the same talk. I have no plan tonight. I wonder what's going to happen. I'm excited. And my husband is calling me. So perfect time for me to get off of here. Much love to you guys. I hope you have an incredible weekend, and I'll see you next time.